Donald Trump's taxes are front and center again as a campaign issue. The New York Times published 3 pages from the candidate's 1995 tax return. They show Trump declared a nearly $916 million loss. The Times says that loss from several bad business deals could have allowed him to legally avoid paying any federal income tax for up to 18 years.
The Trump campaign says the documents were illegally obtained. A campaign statement also said, quote, Mr. Trump knows the tax code far better than anyone who has ever run for president, and he is the only one that knows how to fix it.
2 New York Times journalists who broke this story about Donald Trump's tax return are with us now. Reporter Susanne Craig discovered copies of the documents in her office mailbox late last month. Senior writer David Barstow also tracked down the tax attorney who signed this return.
Now, this story remains the most viewed and most emailed article on the New York Times website. Susanne Craig and David Barstow join us at the table. So much to discuss. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So take us there, Susanne. You go to your mailbox, you see this document, and you think what?
Well, I looked at it and it said had a return address from the Trump Tower, and I was just like, like, what is this? So I opened it, and it looked what appeared to be 3 pages of Donald Trump's tax return. And I'm just sort of staring at it going, this can't be true. And I was on a phone call. I hung up from the person I was talking to. And I walked over to David's desk, who was on the phone, and I showed it to him. He just hung up the phone. And we just went into a room and just started looking at them. And it was both like we couldn't believe it, and also we needed to figure out if we could verify it at the same time. So there was like a disprove and just, can we verify this all at the same time?
And were there legal questions? Did your lawyer have to say, wait a minute, we got to take a look at this and we got to make sure that we can go ahead with this?
I think we as reporters felt that way. We just had to, just start trying to figure it out and see if we could get somebody to verify it and just start going through the numbers.
Do you have any sense of why they were sent to you?
To you.
I've been covering Donald Trump's finances, and I covered Wall Street, but I really don't know. I don't know why they selected me out of any reporter in the country. And I was thinking maybe a lot of other reporters got it and just don't check their mailboxes. So,
well, I mean, because who sends something regular mail these days? But let's go to you, David, because you talked to the accountant, Jack Mitnick. Did you have a difficult time getting him to talk to you? Did you just call him up on the phone and said, hey, look what we have here?
This one I wanted to go and sit down face to face with him.
Yeah.
I wanted to show the documents to him.
Did you call him ahead of time, or you just showed up?
The bane of every investigative reporter's existence is a gated community.
Oh.
So having to navigate the security gate and ultimately persuade Mr. Mitnick to sit down with me at a bagel shop, I then had the opportunity to really stress test the documents with him. There were all kinds of things about these documents that we were concerned about. We all remember the Dan Rather episode, and this is a really important matter. It's a critical time in the campaign, and so what we did was we went through all of the things that made us doubt or be skeptical of these documents, sort of one by one, with him. And he, of course, was a very careful man. He was obviously deeply aware of his ethical requirements not to divulge information directly connected to Mr. Trump's finances. But what he was willing to do, and it was the thing that we really needed him to do, was to authenticate the documents. And the critical moment for me and for us was we were terribly bothered by the way numbers appeared on the tax return.
The first 2 digits, actually, that were dropped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's this huge number, right? A $916 million loss. But the 9 and the 1 were a slightly different font, and they were slightly misaligned with the other 7 digits.
And what did that say to you?
It made us worried that perhaps somebody had just added these digits and then sent us the document.
There's much speculation that maybe there are other documents coming and more information coming. Is that a reasonable speculation?
We're doing everything we can to help that happen. 628th Avenue, New York, 10018.
Is it possible that he simply did so well after that he could have used up those that carry forward over the next 5 years?
We looked carefully at that. We've been obviously studying his finances, and I think we, at least as of yet, don't see a way for him to have gobbled up that $916 million.
It would have taken him 18 years to do it.
It would have taken him a long time. I mean, what that equates to is $50 million a year in taxable income that gets wiped off that over 18 years.
And it assumes no more losses. He could have continued to have losses.
And if we, in the documents that we published, he's looking at somewhere between 10 and 15 million.
He's not denying it, but he's not confirming your story
Correct.
either.
Yeah. And what does this say about him as a businessman? That he lost $916 million? Did he declare bankruptcy for all of these companies, the airline, the hotel, the
He's declared,
casinos?
I mean, his companies have been in bankruptcy multiple times. He has never declared personal bankruptcy. But it does, I think.
Can I just ask one quick question? Is it possible that this is money that belonged to the bank? That he's getting tax breaks from money that belonged to the bank, who had loaned him the money?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of how that could pass through and end up on his personal income tax form. The tax experts who we consulted on this, their basic point to us is that there are these wonderful provisions in the tax codes that for folks who, like Mr. Trump, who put their wealth into partnerships, S corporations, LLCs, it gives this sort of mechanism for allowing the losses, depreciation, et cetera, to flow from those entities right onto his personal income tax.
Well, his campaign is painting as this was a genius move on his part, but he's not happy that you all have released his tax returns. You concerned about legal action from him against you for releasing?
I think it's a very well understood principle in our journalistic tradition in this country that if we didn't entice someone to break the law, if someone mails documents to us and we think they're in the public interest, that we have every right under the First Amendment to publish that information.
Certainly be a question.
Our lawyers are not at all worried.
Something tells me this story is not over. Thank you, Susanne.
We'll see you
Craig.
again. Susanne Craig
And David Barstow. Thank you very much.